Hello guys, today's video gonna be ARFM number 8. Number 8 we're gonna do a 4D setup on the transmission system. This is the most complicated part, which is a lot of people miss. So before we start it, let's take a look at what we need first. We need a different type of the crown gear, which is right here. So you have a choice on the pink one or either carbon fiber one. The carbon fiber one actually just lasts a little bit longer because it's carbon reinforced, and the pink one, which is come from the stock, I know a lot of people use this one, Japan Cup, because this one actually is slightly a little bit smoother than the carbon fiber version. But the problem it is, like, the pink one don't really last too long. Probably a couple rounds, the T gonna be gone. Okay. The next we need it is 1.5 millimeter aluminum spacer, and I need a pinion gear, and also we need a hollow propeller shaft, and item number 15205. Okay. Another thing you need you need some big a little bit bigger 1.5 millimeter carbon fiber scrap from any kind of cutting, which is the remaining. So you will notice this is from my multi-roller stay for the rear. So before we start it, we're gonna talk a little bit about the ARFM transmission system. There's some issue you have to fix. First, let's talk about the propeller shaft. When you set a propeller shaft on chassis, everything actually looks perfect. You will see right here. Okay. Notice right here, it's nothing. It's pretty tight, but the only problem is this part right here. You will see. So we'll notice on this end of propeller shaft, there's nothing block this end. So it has a little bit waggle right here. You can see, because again, there's nothing block here. So what do we try to do in today's video? We're gonna try to make some barrel, which is right here. Not really blocking the propeller shaft. We're gonna try to using some barrel to keep the propeller shaft in the position. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is the barrel I made. Okay, so we're gonna talk about how to make this one in this video and later. Okay, so this is the barrel. You have to glue these little carbon pieces on top of the motor cover. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the modified motor cover with the barrel already installed, and put it back. Okay, and also the front switch cover. Okay, so once you put everything back, you will notice one thing right here. It already has the little barrel design, which is right here. It's blocking the transmission. Not really blocking, it's I would say it's keep the propeller shaft in right position. Okay, otherwise this one gonna be waggle up and down like that. And let's turn around. Remember, I have the carbon fiber barrel, which is already modified on top of the motor cover right here. You will notice right here. Okay, so with that design, so it's keep your propeller shaft in the right position. You will notice right here. Okay, so this one you will notice have very slightly movement, but this is, you don't want to really make it very firm or tight, because you're gonna having too many resistance right here. That's why you have to keep it slightly a little bit loose, so it's enough you can move the propeller shaft like this. Okay, so I'm gonna put another pieces and show you if without the barrel how it gonna looks like. So okay, this is the cover without the barrel design. Okay, so you can see it's like this. So but remember this, even without the carbon fiber design right here, the crown gear, which is right here, will be blocking the propeller shaft over move to the other side. But there's another issue. If you have this propeller shaft kind of move too much, it will give you more resistance. If propeller shaft over move to this end, and it will be over contact with the crown gear, and it's give you a little bit hard time when your car running. So that's why you need something on this side blocking it, and kind of limited the propeller shaft over move to this end. Okay, so this is what you need. Okay, let's get started. First thing you need a shuffle head screwdriver. Open the motor. Okay, this is one of my broken motor. Okay, when you open it, you're gonna try to find one thing, and there is a motor spacer which is located on the tips of the armature. So you can see right here, this little white tiny thing right here. This is called a motor spacer. So you need one of that. That's gonna be your next modification for the transmission and the gear setting. Okay, and sometimes they have two. So this one has two motor spacer on top, one black, one clear white. Okay, try to get a couple of them. Also, you can find that on the stock model. Okay. Next, you're gonna modify a pinion gear. Recommend use this type of purple pinion gear. Okay, you're gonna get a Dremel and make sure you put a motor shaft. This is a motor shaft, which is come from the armature right here. Okay, let me give you quick tips how to take off the motor shaft. So first, you have to cut off all the wires, makes all loose. So after you cut off the wire on top, twist the whole thing on the top, okay? So make it can come off, okay? Next, look at the motor body, okay? You going to twist the body from diagonal like this. Okay, so it's offset, you can see, and the same thing right here on this end. This is actually loose up the whole armature. So next, remove the top tips, and this thing should be able to come off. Okay, like this, it's come off. So next, you're gonna install this one on the top of Dremel, and the pinion gear, I'm gonna put on top of that. Okay. Make sure this end against the Dremel. And next, gonna use the plastic cutter, which is right here, and then remove all the teeth. Okay, so it's gonna be looks like this. Next, turn the Dremel on. Use a files or either sandpaper to flat, the pinion gear. The surface. Remember, we removed the T, so there's some. So the surface right there is kind of rough. So you're gonna go ahead. So okay, here's the pinion gear looks like after you trim. So try to make it as kind of sling as possible. So I'm making it's very small in a sling. And also make sure do not damage this end, because this end is gonna be the end we're gonna push the all the gear system. So make sure this end have to be super flat and no damage. So you need to make two of this. After that, take that out. So move to the next, we're gonna go ahead and install the rear pinion gear first. So this is my rear wheel, and make sure you have 72 millimeter shaft, and recommend pierce of the wheel. Okay, so this is keep your wheel stay tighter. Okay. Okay, this is the roller spacer. Make sure you have the roller spacer on both ends of the wheel. 80620, the axle ball bearing. Okay, so we're gonna insert from here. The next, this is the little gear barrel we just made from the pinion gear. Okay, make sure this end, which as I mentioned, do not damage. This end face that side. Okay, so we're gonna put like this. Okay, so you can see this end face to that way. Okay, next, crown gear. Okay, and the next, remember we took two motor spacer on the motor. put a 2 right here. Okay, so actually you have option. If you don't have motor spacer, okay, this is not necessary, but it is always good to have this, because this is help you to block your this end of the gear, preventing its contact with the notch right here. And I'm gonna put another 620 on the other end. Okay, and it push in, so this is give you a little bit room right here. Okay, so it's preventing this end contact to the wall right here. So it's kind of called a reduce resistance. So okay, next gonna push this pinion gear a little bit all the way to the end, leave very slightly gap. So next, another roller spacer. Okay, and next propeller shaft. Okay, make sure your transmission can move freely like this. Okay, you go now, make sure you feel no resistance, make sure the whole thing is pretty quiet and smooth. Okay, like this. Okay, next we're gonna put it back the other end of the wheel. So there's another tips I have to tell you. I will push one of the wheel all the way, so it makes it really tight. So the reason we push all the way, because we're gonna use the wheel puller to adjust the wheel the gap. Okay, so you're gonna slightly pull out your wheel until it is very tight, but you have enough space to move. Okay, so we're gonna try a little bit. Okay, gonna see, and take it off, double check. So you'll see right now my wheel not really waggle, but it also has enough space, can move like this. Okay, so next I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some glue right here to block this end. Okay, move to next, we're gonna do the gear setup on the front. Okay, before you start it, you need to use a little knife to remove the little barrel right here. You can see right here, let me give you a better angle so you can see there's a small barrel which is located right here. You're gonna use knife to peel that off. Okay, like this. Okay, to remove it. Okay, so it's gonna be looks like this. The barrel will be gone. Okay, to the next, we're gonna go ahead to set up the gear on the front. So you're gonna, starting from left, have wheel and 72mm shaft, roller spacer, which is right here. Okay, and then 620 ball bearing right here, the pinion gear holder, which we will modified. Okay, like this. Okay, and then front gear. Okay, the motor spacer and 1.5mm aluminum spacer. Okay, and then shaft gear. Okay, right here. And then you're gonna insert this one into the notch. Okay, like this, push everything all the way in. Okay, and then you're gonna put another 2 motor spacer on this end. Okay, this is gonna be helping you to block the shaft gear on this end, because right here you're gonna see there's a little bit barrel right here, so it might be contact with the wall on the chassis. So that's why you have to put something block this end, so preventing it have make a contact, so giving some resistance. So remember, the transmission system is about how you reduce the resistance and preventing the gear have too many contact. So in this case, you will not lose too much speed when the motor will transfer the power to the shaft. Okay, so next, AO620. Okay, roller spacer. Okay, we're gonna do the same way as the rear. You're gonna push the wheel all the way and use wheel puller to adjust the wheel. Okay, before you do that, make sure you put all the transmission and propeller shaft back to chassis and make sure you can move freely like this. Okay, you have to feel no resistance. You have to make sure it has no any force trading and turning. So okay, so right now you can see it's pretty smooth. Okay, so okay, make sure this one right here, the pinion gear, do not push all the way. Make sure leave very slightly gap. Okay, because let me show you. Okay, let me show you this. See, right now it can move freely, but if you push this one all the way against the wall right there, it will be block the wheel. So that's why you have to leave very small gap right here. So let me adjust for you. Just make sure don't block it. So when you loose up, it will moves, but make sure only very small gap right here. Okay, so when you put a transmission back to the chassis, the propeller shaft, okay, so you can see it's gonna be very smooth like this. Okay, so of course you need a braking your transmission system. Also make sure you clean the grease of the AO620, and the AO620 I just put on, it's brand new out from package. I haven't done nothing, but if you're braking your motor and put some bubbling oil and braking the system, it's gonna be more smooth than what we have right now. Okay, so right now you can see it's already very smooth. Okay, so it's quiet, no any force trading for turning. So okay, so next we're gonna, so right now we're gonna put a rear cover back and move to next. We're gonna go ahead and modify the motor cap, which is I mentioned earlier on the video. Okay, so okay, I just put this one back and double check, make sure everything's smooth. Okay, so you're gonna apply a little bit crazy glue right here to keep this one on the right position, because without crazy glue this one might be loose. So you're just gonna put a little bit on this end right here. Okay, do not put it over it. Okay, so okay, move to next. It's gonna be very complicated. We're gonna make a some kind of barrel like this. Okay, so you're gonna use that to hold the shaft on this end right here. Okay, even without that, if you think it's too complicated to make it, it's not really necessary, but it's always good to have it. Okay, because you can see even without that you have no problem on your transmission and it's not really waggle too much, because remember you have this part right here, the crown gear, it's kind of block the propeller shaft, it's moving out. But you know, like what I say, it's always too nice to have it. So this is what you have. I'm gonna put the dimension, so check your screen. There's a dimension picture on the screen. Okay, so I'm gonna use a Dremel to cut these pieces off from these pieces. So it's always better to have the design first on the carbon fiber pieces. So I use mask tape, which is right here, and you can see cut that pieces off and stick that on top of the carbon fiber pieces right here. So in this case, when you cut it, you know where exactly you have to cut. Okay, just gonna go ahead and take these pieces off. Okay, it takes me a while to cutting these pieces off from the carbon fiber. Okay, so as you can see, as long as you have the design, which is stick on surface of the carbon fiber, so you can just follow the outline to cut that off. Okay, so it's gonna be looks like this. Next, you're gonna have another issue, which is if you try to put this one on this side of the motor cover, you will see it don't really fits. Okay, so you're gonna make another design, which is right here, and I'm gonna put dimension on the screen. Just make sure you check. Okay, or you can just screenshot that, make sure you have the whole design, which is being drawing on the so make sure you mark on it under all the design. Okay, so you're gonna make something, make a little bit like canal, and another pieces you have to remove from here. So in this case, this one can fit like this is another piece that I just cut. Okay, you have to make sure these pieces can fit like this. Okay, like this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut these pieces and make it looks like this so it can fit to the motor cover. So okay, just finished cutting. You have to make sure this one can fit right here. So you can see it fits. Okay, so have to file a little bit so make it perfect. Again, you have to keep adjust the size so until it's fit to the gear cover right here. Okay, so like this. So this is kind of perfect. But the only problem I have right here is this side is kind of high, so you have to file that off a little bit. So this thing can be sit right here. Okay, so as you can see, this end too high, so this one cannot go all the way. See the little canal right here? You have to make sure this one like latch have to be insert to the gear cup. So okay, you can see I have to file this up a little bit bigger, and this end I have to file a little bit smaller. So you can see right now it fits perfectly right here. Okay, like this. So just gonna go ahead do next modification. Next modification to do it is on this edges right here, this little tip right here. You have to make a little bit of a shallow design, okay, like this. Let me give you an example. So notice this one right here, okay. Let me give it a better angle so you can see this one right here. I trim off a little bit of skin right here, okay. So just gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Use the grinder to kind of grind right here. Okay, so let me give a better angle so you can see. You can turn the machine on to make right here a little bit shallow. Okay, so I'm gonna remove the mask tape, which is kind of block my way. So okay, like this. Make sure do not move too much. Only maybe 0.2 millimeter. Okay, then using files to slowly adjust it. Okay, next gonna go ahead and glue these pieces on top of the motor cover right here. Okay, so okay, you can see it's gonna be looks like this, and then you're gonna put this one back to the chassis and make sure it fits. So as you can see, it fits, okay, but you feel it's kind of too tight. That's what I'm talking about. You have to use files to slowly adjust it, okay, because this surface right here, it is need to keep adjusting, make until it's fit over there. Okay, just gonna keep make this one more shallow, like this one right here. Okay, this one I making, I think about 0.3, around 0.3 millimeter. So you will see this one actually it fits perfect. Okay, so you have to use the file to slowly adjust the surface, make it a little bit smaller, so until it fits like this. Okay, so next we're gonna do another modification on the counter gear, which is right here. For the counter gear, you have two options. Either this type of counter gear, which is you can find online. It's called a floating counter gear, or like this. Okay, it's modified by CMC machine, ball bearing transmission. So it has a ball bearing can transfer the power. It is super smooth and quiet. You can see like this. So so after you clean this one a little bit, okay, you will notice this one actually spin really crazy. Let me stop it, okay? And this one is a stock one, but make sure if you don't have this type of floating gear, of course, you can find this one on eBay or anywhere. There's online they sell that, and you need a machine, and it's very expensive machine. You need a CMC machine to modify it like this, okay? But you always can buy this one online. And this one right here, this is the stock one, okay? Make sure you have upgrade the fluorine coated gear shaft, okay? And also you have to put a AO620, okay? Then you have to put, I think, about like 3 motor spacer like this. You have to put right here, because you have to, again, you have to block this end, because this end is gonna be if without blocking this end is gonna be contact the wall right here, so give some resistance. So this is the modification should be done to all type of system. So you can see like this. Yeah, because this one, it is kind of that's why a lot of people buy the real floating counter gear online. It's giving pretty much a huge difference, okay? Like this one, let me show you. So you can see it's giving really huge difference, okay? So, okay, the next we're gonna apply some grease. I prefer this kind of stock grease and for the braking, okay? So you're gonna apply some right here and turning, make sure it's all around the transmission system. Okay, also very important, you have to apply on the front too, because if you're braking without the grease, your chassis will be damaged, okay? So make sure you apply some right here, okay? Also apply the little notch right here, okay? And again, this is very important, because I saw some people breaking the transmission system without putting in a grease or oil, and eventually end with metal contact with plastic, and it got wormed, okay? So make sure do not do that. I always apply some grease for braking, okay? I'm gonna open this end too, and they're gonna be apply some grease right here too, and then I'm gonna apply some oil for the ball bearing. This is Tamiya VG oil. I highly recommend. It's pretty good. And apply on the ball bearing right here and here, and also a little bit right here, okay? And somewhere right here and here and a little bit right here, okay? Okay, next, I highly recommend to put a 3mm sponge on the motor cover, which is located right here and here, okay? Just gonna go ahead and cut 2 pieces of pink one, okay? So you're gonna set the sponge right here, okay? And here, okay, like this. And next, just gonna put on, because this is gonna keep your motor on the right position. And next, what you have to do is you're gonna just keep the car running, set up on table, and let the system braking for like maybe 20 minutes. And make sure always use the stock motor to brake in, okay? Gonna be sitting like that for 20 minutes, and make sure the whole system braking, okay? So we're gonna finish here today. So my next schedule, it is I'm gonna try to build this ARFM, and at least gonna be spending me another 1 week. So after I finish the building up the whole system, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit review on the FMAR setup. Okay. Okay. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you have any question, just go ahead and leave a comment. I will answer as soon as possible. And again, I will keep updating all the new skill. And thank you for watching.